Hey, it's AT time. My name is Ron Freeman, and today on Animation Trainers, we're going to be discussing the 10th principle in our 12 Principles of Animation series, which is the principle of exaggeration. And to make sure you don't miss any of the other videos in this series, or any of the other videos that we post here on Animation Trainers, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and switch the notification bell to all. And check out the links in the description below to our website and to our Patreon page, where you can learn animation with us during weekly 1-hour live online sessions for only $2 a week. As I mentioned in the Uncanny Valley video that talks in greater detail about exaggeration, which you can watch by clicking here, there is without question a direct correlation between how exaggerated a character looks and how exaggerated a character should move. In 2001, I had just started a job with a company called Fantagram Entertainment in Glendale, California. They were part of a larger game company, but focused exclusively on cutscene animations. At this point, I was about 2 years into learning CG, and computer graphics in the mainstream marketplace definitely had a certain look to it so that you could tell that something was computer-generated imagery. And then a feature film was released called Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. The entire studio went to go see the film because we'd heard it was very impressive visually, and we wanted to see if this movie was going to move the needle, so to speak. And the first scenes of the film start with environments, and what you do see of the heroine is an extreme close-up on her eye, and the fidelity of the animation is very good, albeit somewhat limited in the amount that she is acting. In this scene, she's just reacting to the bright light. And meanwhile, everything else around her, from the environment to the effects, looks absolutely jaw-dropping. We were picking our mouths up off the floor. Now, 24 years later, they are quaint. But the important part is that once they got to the scenes that were more dialogue-heavy and required more performance, the amount of movement and facial animation compared to how visually photorealistic the characters looked didn't feel aligned. And that misalignment is what we refer to as the uncanny valley, where something looks realistic, but not realistic enough. Or another way to put it is that the way it looks doesn't feel married to the way it moves. When those two things are not appropriate for each other, it leaves you with a sense of, yeah. Like the analogy I've used of a theater actor performing for the back rows, and therefore needing to be very broad and clear in their acting and emotion in order that everything read. Exaggeration in animation is necessary for two reasons. The first reason is that no matter how realistic you make an animation look, if it isn't absolutely photoreal compared to the look of the character, then it's not going to work for the reasons we've already mentioned. And if it does succeed at looking and moving completely photorealistically, then it's a live-action movie and not really animation, right? And so when we're talking about animation or exaggeration in the sense of stylizing movement for the sake of entertainment to any degree, whether that be very photorealistic-ish or broad and cartoony, it is absolutely fundamental that animation contain exaggeration in order to not break that illusion of life. Comment quiz! What style of animation do you prefer? Do you like more photorealistic but slightly stylized somewhat? Or do you prefer more broad and cartoony? I'd love to know in the comments below. And from this day forward, we don't care about being cool kids. From now on, everyone who comments gets a cookie. Seriously, try it yourself. As we can see in this example from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which represents an animation that is more broad and cartoony, exaggeration is evident all over the place, and we already are asking the audience to suspend reality and understand that these are cartoons and not real people, etc. In fact, this film was specifically designed to make it feel like a comic book come to life. Since it doesn't need to look photorealistic, it leads us to our second reason of why exaggeration needs to exist in animation beyond ensuring that the look and movement are married aesthetically. Even in cartoony animation, exaggeration ensures that you're using the most commonly understood and broadest gestures and movement in order to be able to communicate the actions and emotions that you're meant to represent. They will even utilize what I like to refer to as signature movements in order to sell what a character is intended to be thinking or feeling. The next video here on Animation Trainers will be a deeper dive into character anthropomorphism and the use of signature movements in order to sell the intended reaction. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and keep your eye out for it. As a contrast to that, as we can see in these examples from Mufasa, the Lion King, Animation that is more realistic, but has an appropriate amount of stylization, feels correct, and has an innate sense of appeal and a sense of solidity. And solid drawing, or for 3D terms what I like to refer to as solid posing, is the next principle we'll be going into greater detail here in our 12 Principles of Animation series. And so to make sure you don't miss that video in this series or any of the other videos that we post here on Animation Trainers, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and switch that bell. Or better still, want to start becoming an animator right now for only a couple of bucks a week? Come join us for our weekly 1-hour live feedback and over-the-shoulder animation fishbowl sessions at patreon.com/animation trainers. You too can join our students, our trainees, and our beloved patrons who have my eternal thanks for their support of this channel. They get all the cookies. Or would you prefer to have a private session with me where we can discuss how to improve your animation skills working with me directly one-on-one? Then please visit our website at animationtrainers.com and schedule a session with me. My name is Ron Freeman, and we hope to see you for our next video here at Animation Trainers. In the meantime, keep it moving.